Hello, I'm Stewie, here to review another movie. After looking at my movies, I've been generally positive, saying good, decent. I'm going to be negative and talk about The Last Airbender. Now don't get me wrong, I like the show. But the best way I can say is, everyone hates The Last Airbender. They're right, let's get this over with. Now when I heard they were going to make a movie out of it, I was thinking, sweet, I'm finally getting a movie based off my favorite show. And then my hopes for it crumbled like a tower standing on one block in Jenga. Okay, what's the story? It's basically a rehashing of the first season. And if you don't know the show, well, let's say this. 4 nations live together in harmony. Water, earth, fire, air. Everything changes when the Fire Nation attacks, and only the Avatar can save them. Now, who is the Avatar? Well, the Avatar is actually one person born into each nation and can master all 4 elements. But the Avatar, before the war started, vanished when he was needed, and 100 years suffered. Now the Air Avatar here was a firebender, and the Fire Lord knew that the next Avatar would be an Airbender, so he went against the Air Nomads. Then he attacked the air, then he attacked the water, earth, and so forth. Cut to 100 years later. The Fire Nation is about to win. 2 kids, Katara and Sokka, try to find the actor are going fishing where they find the Avatar, a 12-year-old airbender named Aang, and they travel around the world trying to master all the other elements. What does this movie get? Okay. This is going to be a different style. I'm going to go over what they get right, if there is anything, and then what they get wrong. I'll go with what they got right, because that's a shorter list. I will say that the trailer was awesome. There was this little kid bending the air and just blowing out candles, and then these fire ships are coming out, and I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be awesome. Aang fighting the Fire Nation when they rebel against him 10 years after the war. This doesn't happen. And the only other thing they get right about the show is the opening, which is an allusion to the opening of each episode. The action scenes are done terrible. The effects make animatronics look like Pixar, and the acting is terrible. Especially Aang. This guy, the kid who plays Aang, is terrible. At least they're nothing the same. In the show, Aang... sorry. That's another problem I'll handle later. But Aang in the show was a kid and had fun. In the show, Aang... God, I hate this movie. Is basically looks so serious. Yeah, they basically butcher every name. Avatar is Avatar, Sokka is Sokka, Iroh is Iroh, and Aang is Aang. God, I hate this movie. As you can tell, I hate this movie. The worst movie I've ever seen It is the worst movie I've seen in my life. It's worse than The Room. Which I'll talk more about The Room another time. So I'll just say why it's different. 1. The Room was just I think a guy wanted to film a story he had in mind, and it was original. You're looking at a show that exists, a popular medium. M. Night Shymalan should have learned from it. The only way I can really always sum up it is this video I saw. It's basically from the show of the Ember Island Players, where Sokka's showing the guys what's supposed to be the play based off of them, but it's the movie. Shows them leaving, saying stuff like, worst play ever. The acting was awful. The story was awful. And Sokka just says, but the effects are decent. And again, when your effects are decent, you know you have a problem with your movie. But you know what? Call me a conspiracy nut, but I think the show was predicting the movie. Then again, you did it, Shymalan. You made the show, a parody of the show's run, look better than your movie. I'm Stewie, I'll see you guys later, and hopefully I'll have a better movie to review.